So, good morning, Quentin. Whoa, sound is horrible. Let's see if I can fix this. All right, 1 second, guys. I know it's a lot of moving and stuff. Hold on. We are going to try something else today.
All right, what's up, guys? Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so let's go here. Let's kind of go through this with the dollar today. All right. So what I'm seeing here, what we have from yesterday, the dollar shot up. Let's see. See, yesterday the dollar shot up really, really nice. So like 10, 11-ish. Some really nice moves now. Let's see here. Hmm. As was a good buy. Gold was probably a good sell. Yeah, gold was a good sell yesterday. Okay, so let's see here. There's news at what? 8. There's Canadian news at 8:30, and then there's Slate USC news at 11 a.m. Slate news. Okay, so on Fridays, me personally, I try not to get too invested with Friday's moves because I realize that a lot of times you get kind of choppy on Fridays. I do feel that the dollar is going to drop though for the rest of the day. If I'm being quite frank, I think the dollar is going to drop the rest of the day. It being a Friday, I think the dollar is now going to correct the rest of the day and for the rest of the week. And what would that mean potentially? That would mean maybe definitely not UJ. UJ does look like it might turn around though. It's not that good though. AUD, AU maybe for the buy. That could be possible today. thinking AU for the buy. So let me go to AU. Let me see. See what AUD's looking like. Let me analyze this, and then we'll see if AUD actually looks pretty decent. This is on the daily. So at the daily level, 4 hour, 2 hour here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so this is what I have happening, guys. To this next level here. This is what I'm thinking is going to be with AU today. So it looks something like this. Here we go. Let me see, is this 20? Nah, make it like a 15. There's no way it should break level down here. Okay, so I'm liking AU for the buy. Let me see. I like AU for the buy, guys. So I am getting in AU for the buy. All right, so I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna post this in the signals right now. All right, this is the one setup I do like right now. Actually, I do like this setup, so you guys can do with that if you will. See here. So I do like this. So we're gonna get in this, and even if I make a good, let's see here, 20 pips on this, I'm happy. 20 to 30 pips on this, I'm happy. All right, 20 to 30 pips on this move, I'm happy. And I'm gonna call it a good Friday and game over. Okay, so I do think anything around this area is pretty good as far as entries. This is what I like. This is what I like to see personally. So I'm gonna get in here. Let me post it. Mm. All right, guys. So AU for the buy. We're in it. I like it. You know, I want a clean, good move today, and I'll be happy if that's what I get. That's all I want. Just a nice, clean, good move today. I'll be a very happy man if I just get a nice little 25 pips. I'll be happy. I will chill. So, all right. So we're watching this move right now. So, all right. I like this setup. So I'm in AU for the buy, guys. That's it. That's all I'm looking at right now. That's all. And if I can get an easy 20, 30 pips on this, I'll be happy, man. And I will be done for the day, honestly. Let's see if there's anything else setting up, though. Nas has been super, super bullish. Super, super bullish. Let's see here. NZD USD. It looks like NU might also be pretty bullish. Let's see here. Has potential. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. If you guys can hear me really well in the chat, can you put like a 10 or 1, out of 1 out of 10, if 10 being the perfect audio, how well can you guys hear me right now? I'm just kind of testing it. 10, you all see me really clearly? Just making sure. 10. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool. So the only position that we're in, or that I'm in, not that we're in, but is AU. I like it. I think we have a good 20, really 30 pips, honestly, for this move. I think at least 30 pips here. We could get 40, but I think we're at least going to grab at least a good 30 here. So I think it's a good risk reward. I think it's a good setup. So I'm in this setup. Now there's also potential other setups if you want. There is NU if you're an NZD trader. Okay, you could do that. You could do the NU, NZD USD for the buy. This also has potential. I'm not really NZD USD trader though. But this also has potential to the upside. Okay, essentially, yeah. Essentially something like this. If you want to get into NU, I think NU is also pretty good. Um, see here. NAS, we're not really going to touch until 9:30. We'll stick around till 9:30 to look at NAS. With gold, not really going to touch gold either. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let me see, gold popped up for London. It's okay, I guess. Let me put some alerts right here. All right, so once AUD, guys, all right, breaks, I got too many charts up. But once AUDs break this level, right, then we are definitely clear, I think, for the buy on AUD, on AU, okay? So I do want it to pop up a little higher, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 pips more. Once it does that, I do think we'll have bullish momentum really start to kick in here. So we have a pretty good entry before the momentum even kicks in. And that's what we're waiting for. Okay, we're kind of waiting for this right here. Boom. Something like this here. So I'm just focused really on one good setup. And on Fridays, I try not to go too crazy with trying to get in 3, 4, 5 different positions or as trade setups. I try to find like one really good setup I like. This is a setup that I do like, so I kind of just try to stick to that. I try to stick to that because I do think the dollar will continue to drip. AUDs are bullish. It has been dropping all week, right? AUD has been dropping all week. So on Fridays, guess what tends to happen? They tend to like a nice reversal on the end of the day, right? So it hit this weekly level here. There's a huge weekly level here that it hit and is respected. So I think that we should get bullish momentum with AU moving forward right now. Okay. So I think NU and AU probably are pretty good. I really can't call GU as much as I would like to. GU's a little tricky. Let's look at UJ. Let's see what UJ is going to do. Is UJ good for the sell? It's against the trend. It's against the trend, but it does have potential to go up for sure. It does have potential to go up, however. So I'm not really going to take this UJ setup because I don't really like it as much, but could it be a potential sell for even maybe 15 pips or so? 15, 20 pips? It could possibly it could possibly drop like this here. It could possibly. It is respecting this level. It could. But the problem with UJ, okay, the problem, so it's in the overall uptrend. So this is counter trend. This would be a counter trend move. All right, and we're gonna kind of watch the dollar here, and let's see. In my opinion, I think that the dollar is gonna drop to this level down here. So this is what I'm thinking the dollar is gonna do today, guys. I'm thinking it's gonna. We'll see. Okay. We'll see how this works out. So we're just being patient and waiting. Nothing too crazy today. Seems like it's going to be a very chill session. I like that. I like that though. I like chill sessions. I like very, calm, cool, collected, nothing crazy, no NFP, no crazy sporadic news. I like sessions like that. You know? Those types of sessions make me happy. They bring out the kid in me, I giggle inside. Nas, let's look at Nas really quick here. So Nas is really consolidating here. And let's see how Nas reacts to this level here. Because that will definitely be important. So we'll sit here and monitor Nas. We'll watch that together. All right. Let's look at AU real quick. So AU is breaking this level, guys, right? It is hitting this level that I want to be hit. So everyone should be in profit if you are liking this setup as well too. If you caught the entry that I called out. I still think we have a good another maybe 20, 30 pips to go. Okay. Let's just be patient here. Let this ride out a little bit. Right, A's looking good, guys. I'm liking it. Everything's moving nice. See the dollar is continuing to drop, which is what we want. Okay. I think the dollar still has some more momentum. Let's look at UJ. Right, UJ is also dropping. Right, if you want to sell UJ. Now, I don't like UJ because I think that is, a little counter trend. And I try not to do that for the most part. For the most part. So the only thing that I truly like is really AU. But I'm just showing you guys other opportunities if you want. And you also has potential. Let me see here. I don't really know how. I don't know how far NU is gonna go. But I'm thinking something like this here. Or NU, something like that. But AU is the only trade I'm gonna be in probably for the day, guys. So probably my one and only trade. I'm just letting y'all know. So, and then we'll look at NAS. We'll look at NAS together. And then we'll be done for the session. All right. So we'll look at NAS together for the open, and then that's really it. Nothing too crazy after that. So let's see how the dollar holds this level. But I do want AU to, it is retesting this level here, which is perfectly fine. But what I wanted to do is to eventually break it. We get a nice candle closure above this level, guys. If we can kind of get that, then we're really in the clear, I believe. So, it's retesting this area, playing around. At this point, I just wanted to kind of hold this area, close above, get a nice candle closure above this level. And we should be good once we kind of get that as the confirmation. So, we're just waiting for that. That's really it at this point. See. We'll see by 9 o'clock how the dollar's looking, guys, because it's going through kind of retracement. See how this looks by 9 o'clock, though. So even though the entry's been good, I want to see how the dollar reacts. Again, it just hit this level down here, as you guys can see, right? So we are getting some rejection around that level, which is perfectly fine and expected, honestly. But what I do want is for the dollar to hold this level and to continue to show us bearish momentum. So that's what I want. And if we get that, we'll be fine. So that's what we're waiting for. We just need some more momentum to kind of kick in here. And we'll see what happens. What I really want is by the end of the hour for us to get bullish here. I really want 9 o'clock bullish momentum to kick in. End of the hour close is very important usually a lot of times for these pairs. And just in trading in general, guys, honestly, it's very important. So if we can get by 9 o'clock, the bullishness to hold this area, then I think we're good. So let's just sit around and wait for another 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. And you don't really have to wait though. I'm just letting y'all know, like we're waiting, but one of the smarter ways to do this, if you're short on time, granted, is to, use your alerts to your advantage, right? That's why I definitely encourage you guys to understand TradingView and to use your alerts, because you don't have to sit here and watch trades all day long. You can legit kind of understand what you're doing, put alerts at certain levels that you want to see um, pairs cross or levels get broken. And then once you get alerted on your phone, you can kind of adjust your trade, you know? So there's multiple ways to look at it, right? You don't have to um, sit here and be a robot and just like, oh, I gotta babysit my trade every day for an hour, 2, 3 hours. You don't really have to babysit it per se. In actuality, what you're doing is you're just monitoring and trying to manage your trade properly, but you don't have to sit here and watch it 24/7. When I draw my zones, my levels, I'll put alerts and I'll kind of just, do something else as I'm waiting. But for the sake of you guys, obviously, I'm on here trying to explain things for you so you can kind of get real life interpretation of what the market is doing in real time. So you can kind of understand it, because it is hard to kind of put theory and practice together, right? It isn't easy to kind of learn, through the course, whether you get the TTA course, the free course, or you're a lifetime student, you have the premium course, or if you're learning from anyone else or YouTube or anything like that, which are all great sources, right? You just have to pick which one works best for you. But um, it's one thing to kind of learn a strategy, it's another thing to implement a strategy. Those are two different things. And a lot of people are going to have to learn that the hard way, because having a strategy is great. All right. Nothing wrong with a good strategy. I think we all love a good strategy here. Okay. But if you don't know how to implement that strategy in real time as you are trading and understand the market as you're actually trading, then it can become difficult, right? Because trading isn't just a theoretical, philosophical type of thing. Anyone can tell you the strategy, and I can tell you a golden strategy right now, you know, but if you don't know how to apply it in real time, if you don't understand how to analyze the market in real time, if you don't understand a lot of other key things while you are trading, then you definitely will still mess up a lot. So a big thing of trading is understanding the strategy, but also learning how to implement it in real time. Okay, because that is a very, very big thing. Understanding the market as it's moving, not just like the strategy itself. Okay, and that's going to take some time, guys. It's not going to take years to understand, but it might take you a couple months to really, again, if you really are struggling with real-time trading and understanding what's going on, it's trading is really like a second language. I like to call it like a second language, because you know it does take time to learn and master, and to kind of find the flow of it. A lot of things that I might even say to you might even sound crazy. All right, the acronyms and stuff we use for trading, it's essentially like a different language. Okay. I remember the first time I traded, or I started trading, and it was like, I would say, the equivalent of walking into a doctorate type of room. Like you're getting your master's degree, and you only know how to count one plus one. And okay, like that was me. All right. I didn't know anything about trading. And then I started to watch all these videos and stuff, and I was lost. I was like, what the heck? How am I ever going to learn this? And I thought I would never get it. I thought I would never figure it out. So I'm here to tell you that, it's not going to seem very easy at first. Okay. Especially your first year, second year trading. Don't expect perfection with yourself. Obviously, a lot of you guys, I can tell, are pretty much 3 years under, when it comes to just trading in general. You're under your first 3 years. So, don't beat yourself up because you have not really had a lot of time to really like see the market in every type of situation, in a trending environment, in a consolidation environment, in the seasonal tendencies for most of these pairs. Um, you don't have enough time under your belt yet. But the benefit of kind of just hopping on our sessions, asking questions, is that you can just learn a whole lot quicker. So it doesn't take you years to kind of really get the knowledge and information that you really need, because you don't really need that much time. I would say for the average person, all you need is a couple months of just studying to really see a big difference in your trading. Maybe more than a couple weeks, but you definitely at least need 30 to 90 days to really uh, gauge yourself and grasp the knowledge properly. Granted, if you have the right sources, and that's a big thing. If you have the right sources, because it shouldn't take that long. All right, so let's see here. We have like 5 more minutes until 9 o'clock. Let's look at the dollars. See what the dollar's doing. Dollar, I think, is gonna pull up roughly to like this area. So we're gonna wait and see here. We're gonna wait and see how AU handles this level. And we're gonna see how the dollar handles this level. And I think potentially NAS for the buy. You might have a NAS for the buy setup today. I'm definitely thinking that. We'll see. Once this level is really broken though, which is another, let me see here, 20 points, 20 pips basically. Thinking that's for the buy. So, you know, there's two trades that I think I'm kind of liking today that are potentially work out, which is AU for the buy and potentially NAS for the buy. Those are two things that I'm looking at that I like. These are really the only two setups that I'm liking potentially. I'm not really going to touch gold. I'm not going to touch gold. It is very choppy, and I'm not going to touch that. Let's see here. Okay, so it is 9. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes for the 9 o'clock on the dollar. Let's see if we start to get rejection around here. We'll also look at NAS. We're going to watch this to see what it does. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. I really want to close bearish here. This is ideally what I want. I want it to close bearish around this area. That's ideally what I want. If we can get that, then I think we'll be good. So UJ is trash. JPYs are way too bearish. So as you guys can see, this is, UJ is really tricky at times. And, so when you're counter trend trading, and this is why I said even with UJ, that's why I was like, guys, I really don't like UJ, because you guys see here, even though the dollar is kind of bearish and it's dropping, like the overall JPYs are really bullish, right? And then on top of that, hold on. And then on top of that, it's just against the trend. So that's why I told you guys, like, look, I don't really like UJ. It does have potential? Yes, but I'm like, I don't like it, right? I'm going to try to figure out the best pairs or the best setups that I like. And even though things are going to correlate, right? So even though, let's say the dollar is going to drop today, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, UJ is just going to drop just because the dollar's dropping. And I used to kind of make those mistakes when I just first started trading. Just because one thing is dropping doesn't mean that it's going to correlate and correspond with all pairs. So you have to have a good broad understanding of each pair, of how they move, the overall trend. These are all things that you kind of have to consider when you are getting in a trade, guys. Okay, so let's look at AU really quick on the 5-minute. AU doesn't look too horrible here. AU entry still good. Now, my thing though with this trade, just so you guys know, is that it really should not break this area here for AUD/USD. It really shouldn't break this area. It should kind of hold this overall zone here if we are to go up. I don't think that we should get too much pullback from this area here. All right, because if the dollar should be ready to at least drop somewhat here. Should be ready to drop at least somewhat here. And we're going to see how this 5-minute closes, but I think this 5-minute will close bearish. We'll see. We'll see here. But if we can at least get it to close bearish and just get some type of bearish momentum on the dollar, which I do think is going to happen. In the higher time frames, we made a decent enough pullback. I think we should at least start to drop here. I think AU's at a really good entry point. Let me see 9:15. What I would like to see here is on this 15-minute, right? It's a bullish engulfing, which is happening now, right? So if we get this bullish momentum on the 15-minute around 9:15, the trade I think will still be very good. Okay, so on the 5-minute, hit this level, pulled back down, right here actually is not a bad entry. Honestly, it's not a bad entry if you like it. So But what I really want is the 15-minute to close bullish on this trade. And if we can get that, then I'll be pretty happy. If by 9:15 I can get a bullish closure and get some bullish momentum kicking in. You know, we're still kind of in the middle of the session, so I guess we kind of just gotta wait and see and be patient. Really what's happening is the dollar's just like holding at this level right now. And I would like for it to stop playing around. That's what I would like for it to do. To stop playing around, you know? And just drop just a smidge, just a smidge. If the dollar drops just a smidge, AU will pop up a good 20, 30 pips from here. And I think NU will also pop up. I think. Maybe not up to here, but maybe at least up to here, maybe. Probably something like this, actually. It's more realistic for this type of setup, actually. Maybe like a 20, 25 pip stop loss with a 30 pip TP on the NU. Yeah, seems more realistic for an intraday setup. Let's see what NAS is doing. Okay, NAS is looking good. And this is what I'm thinking with NAS, guys. This is what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking a good 40, 50, 60 points. Let me check this out. Now, I'm not saying that the entry is there yet, but I'm saying it is like setting up. All right, it is setting up. So I do want to wait just a little bit more for NAS to pop up more and really break out this range, and then kind of go to these highs up here. So that is what I'm looking at with NAS potentially. Gold is overall bearish. Let's see what gold. Okay, so let's see here. dollar has been like really finicky lately. It seems like it's changing trend directions mid session a lot lately. Let me see here. Because it slowly is breaking structure. And now I'm not really liking my AU setup as much now. Now I'm not liking it. Let's see. It's a little under drawdown my entry. Not really liking it. Not really liking it. Because on the 15 minutes didn't close bullish. Or we have, let me see. I have one more minute and it is not closing the way I want it to close. So it's not holding this area here. Starting to break the zone here. So now it's telling me, okay, it might be time to get out this trade and look for something else because it's not holding my zone the way I want it to hold. So, you know, yeah, it was only like maybe 6, 7, 8 pips in profit, and now it's maybe like 5 pips in drawdown. But I might exit here because the dollar, as you guys can see, is not holding bearish momentum right now. Dollar looks like it's popping up, and at this level now is shooting up, and it's been doing that, I don't know, for a couple sessions now, honestly. So it's been a little tricky because when you try to call it for what it's going to do for the day, it's not really trending. It's like hitting one level, then popping back up for the rest of the session in another direction. So it seems like it's kind of hard to pinpoint sometimes what it wants to do. Even on Friday, it's kind of being weird. So the dollar is going up now, guys. So I would get out I don't like AU now. I don't like AU now. So I'm going to cut AU. Okay, because it's now holding the zone. So as you guys can see, I cut my trades early. When I'm losing my trade and it's not following the way I want it to follow, I'd rather just cut it out early and then find something else. It's not doing what I want to do. I mean, it could hold this area here. That could be like the absolute last stop if it is bullish, but I really am not liking this setup right now. I'm like, yo, I'm really not liking this setup right now. 10. Really not liking it. I'm thinking that it's gonna get bullish. That's what I think. So I think AU is now in a big pickle. It could go up, it could go down. So I don't really like it. It's kind of stuck now. And I don't like that. Not on a Friday. So I'm gonna see if there's an easier type of trade setup. Maybe the NAS buy. Maybe we can catch that at 9:30. Maybe that'll be easier. Or maybe it'll be a sell. I don't know. Who knows? It could even drop from here too. So we can figure out, we can kind of wait and see here what it wants to do. But it looks like it wants to reverse and go up from here. Okay, if you guys can kind of see that here. Right, so if it was gonna maintain its bearishness, then it really should have held, I guess you can say, this trend line, I guess, maybe, or this channel, let's say. Right, should have held that, but instead it looks like it's breaking it or just breaking it, we don't know. But for me, I think that the dollar should be popping up at this point, because if it was bearish, it would have held it. It would have held those areas. So AU is not like a super wash trade, but it's, you know, in just a little bit of drawdown, maybe 2-3 pips. And I don't really like the setup. So this is what I do personally. And this might be a very valuable gem for a few of you guys. If I'm in a trade and it's, you know, working out, let's say for instance you're up 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pips, and you like the setup, you're anticipating 15, 20, 30 pips, but then it's not holding structure or doing what you want it to do. Okay, now the dollar is, let's see if the dollar now is reversing. I guess we'll wait and see how it holds here, right? But you kind of just gotta wait. And if it's not doing what you want it to do, then for me personally, like if I'm actively trading, then I will just kind of get out and then re-enter at times. It just depends. It just depends. You know, so if basically like A starts to break these levels again and is holding, goes maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 pips up, starts to break these highs, then I'm going to be like, okay, all right, now we're super bullish again. We can get in. We'll see if the dollar holds this level here. It should hold this level and start to drop. There's just no possible way. Okay, so if this is the absolute last move for AU or for the dollar. So if the dollar breaks this high, then it's going up. It should at least start to drop. If it's bearish, it should start to drop from here. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's bearish, so I don't think it's really gonna continue. But if it was bearish, it should, or if it is, more importantly, then it should hold this level, right, and start to drop here. It should. Right, that would be natural market behavior. But if it is bullish, then it's going to hold the zone and start to get bullish from here. So I believe personally, the best thing to do is to kind of just exit, even if it's just -1, -2, 3 pips, to kind of exit and look for a better entry or a better trade. So that's what I do. And it does take some time to kind of assess things like that. Um, and I'll let you know my rationale behind that is because My entry was, I'm kind of at entry with AU, right? It's so I think I'm just like the spread, which is in the negative a little bit. So I'm in the negative a little bit on AU, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, do I want to hold this trade, or do I want for it to hold it for my, possibly my full blown stop loss, or do I want to get out and kind of just and get a better entry maybe, right? And what I would say is that for the majority of people, your best bet is to assess one trade at a time, okay? And if it's not doing what you want it to do, you exit the trade and then look for a better entry. And there's nothing wrong with seeing a trade, but then catching it maybe at the wrong spot, and you're like, I don't like what it's doing. Let me get out, right? So you're not committed to anything, and then re-engaging and seeing the setup for a better entry that you're more confident in. Because trading is, I would say, like 70% confidence in yourself and your trade setup. Okay. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have confidence in your trade setup. Let's see here. Okay, the dollar's now starting to drip. Now it's slowly starting to drip. So we'll see here. Let's look at the dollar here. We're gonna look at NAS guys in a second. So AU still isn't horrible. TP or stop loss wasn't hit. The zone, it busted through the zone a little bit more than anticipated. It is looking a little bit better now, but you know, it really should start to kick in bullish momentum here. Like once it hits this level again, it starts to get more bullish here. Then I feel a whole lot more comfortable buying this setup and you know, right roughly around here. Okay. If that happens, then that's what I would like for AU to do. And I would feel real comfortable in that setup. If we can get more bullish momentum to kick in and the dollar to really start to drip and drop from here, and that would make sense to me. Okay. But I just want to drop that for you guys because that is a real thing, you know. Um and that's something that you really can't be taught in real time, or I should say not in real time, but in a in a course or a video, how to manage your trades in real time, because there's so many different scenarios, right? So even though your analysis can be completely correct, managing the trade can be very difficult in real time if you're looking at the market for maybe an hour or two, like we are. We'll look at the market for like 2 hours, and then be done. So, what do you do when maybe you're up 5, 6, 7, 8 pips? Just enough to make you feel good, but not really a lot to really maybe secure profits, right? You're not really securing profits at like 5 pips in profit usually for most people, right? Or 6, 7 pips, like that's really nothing. If you include the spread of the broker, usually it's practically nothing. So it's enough to make you feel good to say, okay, maybe I got the direction right, but you're still not, as profitable or getting as much momentum as you want in the market at the time. So, that's why for me, like I said, if the market isn't doing what I want it to do, then I just get out and then I reset. I'd much rather take, small losses, kind of chip them away, and then once I see a really good move, I just kind of double down on the good move. So, never be scared to kind of go with your gut to say, like, all right, it's not doing what I want it to do. Let me get out, or let me reevaluate, let me reset for whatever. It doesn't have to be AU, could be whatever trade you want, whatever trade you're looking for. Okay, whatever you're looking at. Whatever it is that you're looking at. All right, never be afraid to kind of reset, restart, and look for a different setup, or look for a more confident, a more fluid, a more confirmed setup. So if my confluences start to change mid trade, then my analysis starts to change mid trade, which thus means my trade isn't as strong as maybe you would once think. So as things change in the market, your analysis is going to change, which is also mean your confirmation is going to change as well. So that's just something to realize, guys. Nothing works perfectly in the market every day, all day. So let's look at the dollar. See, the dollar's is holding this level. Okay, the dollar's holding this level. I think the dollar's gonna go up. I feel like the dollar's just gonna go up from here. It's hard to tell. The dollar's at a very tricky area. It can go up or down from here. It's hard to call. It's hard to call. Okay, the dollar, the way it's handling this kind of range here, it can go up or down. And in my opinion, I feel like it's gonna go up. But I could be wrong. I don't know. So it's, instead of leaving myself to the whim of the market, I'm just like, let me just reset and wait for things to happen here. I'd rather just find a stronger setup. So let's look at maybe NAS here. Let's, could look at gold, possibly, even though, well, gold for the sell is nice, but I don't like the entry. I do not like the entry where it's at right now. But I do think it is going to continue to drop here. I do think it is going to drop. Let's see. Let's see here. The dollar is popping up. Let's see. So this, let's see, maybe the NAS, maybe we can get NAS for the sell. Let's see. There is like slight news at 10, guys. So there is that. There is that. Let's see here. There is that. Okay, AU is holding. All right, so AU is holding, guys. Surprisingly, AU is holding still. I'm kind of shocked, but it is holding. And once it starts to break, I would say a good 6, 7, 8 pips up, then it will be confirmed with the buy and will be good for the buy. Once it starts to break these highs and gets, bullish again, because essentially it's just consolidating now at this area. But once it starts to break out, volume starts to kick in a little bit more, then for sure we're good on the buy. But until then, it is not really confirmed yet, because at this point we just have slow, drippy consolidation, right? So we don't know if it's going to go down and then go up. We don't know if it's going to go up then down. There's a lot of different things that it could do. So it's just about being patient. Let's look at NAS really quick. The 5-minute candle here. So this is kind of what NAS looks like on the 15-minute. Okay. So AU is looking better. Let's see. These are looking better. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar, man, is just being dollarish. Right? If we can get the dollar to somehow break this level, guys, right? And it starts to come back into the channel, then for sure bearish momentum with the dollar. For sure. Okay. If it's basically starts to do this here, then AU for the buy will be golden. It will be golden. But it has not done that yet. It's still very much consolidating and playing around. So, this isn't really what I like to see here. Right? It kind of pulled up a lot here and is now consolidating at this pullback. So this isn't what I want to see. If we are looking for bearish momentum, this isn't what I want to see. I don't want to see the market hold this area and start to consolidate. I want it to hold this area just for a little bit and then start to drop. Ideally, that's what I want. And we'll kind of just watch. Nah, let me see what gold's doing. Gold's dropping. Gold wasn't a horrible sell. Gold wasn't too bad. I didn't get in it though, but It wasn't a bad setup. Let's see. If NAS breaks, so guys, the way I'm looking at NAS is that if it's got to break one of these structures, and if it doesn't, then there is no trade. So if it just continues to consolidate in between here, then there's nothing you can do, right? But once it kind of breaks this zone or this zone, then I think we'll have momentum in either direction. So that's something to kind of wait and anticipate for. Wait for it to kind of break out the range. Once it does that, we should be good. AU is looking way better. Finally, it was just a little stuck here, a little tricky. A little annoying. Just a little bit. The dollar's taking forever to drop. I think that's probably the most annoying part. The dollar is just taking forever. Forever to drop. The crazy part is we don't even know if it's going to drop. Maybe it's waiting for that news at 11 o'clock, man. Maybe that's what it's doing. Let me see. What type of news is it? Fed Chair Powell speaks at 11 a.m. That's in an hour and 20 minutes. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's what they're waiting for here. Maybe that's what they're waiting for here is the news at 11. So maybe the dollar isn't going to move until 11 o'clock, guys. That would make sense. That would make sense as to why we're kind of dealing with the dollar just being a little funky. Because there is news at 11 and maybe they want to wait for the market to move around 11 to really push the market for the rest of the day. That would make sense. That would make sense is why they're we're kind of stuck in positions here a little bit. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like we're stuck. Let me see what AUDs. AUDs are moving nice. They're very bullish. I just wish the dollar would do what I wanted to do. The dollar has just been playing with me lately. So as y'all can see, AU is still looking good. I would like it to really break this area and get bullish again. to break this consolidation, get bullish, you know, I'm thinking that the dollar should start to reject and drop. But what I'm thinking is that it's probably going to do it around 11 o'clock. That is what I'm thinking now. I'm thinking that it's going to slowly consolidate, push up maybe, and then drop for 11. I mean, or I mean, it could go up for 11. It's my whole point though is that it's waiting for the real move of the session around 11 o'clock. That's what I'm thinking. So that's just something to know, guys. You know, sometimes the market will play around, consolidate, go back and forth because it's waiting for the news later and maybe in the hour and a half, 2 hours. So sometimes, you know, you're just sitting in positions waiting for that news to kind of kick in. So let's look at NAS real quick. Because we're 15 minutes past NAS. Let's see if NAS is gonna look good or not. NAS doesn't look too bad. To me, it's still looking like a buy overall. It's still looking like a buy, but we don't have our entry yet on NAS. We don't have our entry yet on NAS. But it is looking bullish, which I like. Let's see. Hopefully we can get this break on the dollar. And that would be perfect for the AU buy if I can just get that. That'd be nice. That would be nice. Okay. And I guess that's really it, guys. So I'll stick around till like 10 o'clock for like 15 more minutes with you guys. All right. And AU is better now. It's pretty smooth. It's holding. And again, guys, I think the only reason that these trades didn't really pan out to the TPs yet, you know, in the time that that I think it should have, is because of this news at 11 o'clock. Okay, because of this news at 11 o'clock. So for me personally, I would move my stop loss like here, basically beneath these lows here. All right, your stop loss doesn't have to be all the way down here. It can, because really it should hold this previous low here. It really shouldn't break this previous low that AUD just made on the 15-minute. It really shouldn't break that low. If AUDUSD breaks that low there, then it will be bearish, because if it holds this, then breaks this low, then boom, then it's going to continue down. Right? So if it does that, you know it's going to get bearish, and that would be your signal to get out, if that makes sense. If it holds this and starts to get bullish, which means it starts to break the previous highs up here, then we can start to buy roughly around here. This is what I'm looking to re-enter, to possibly buy here. So where I currently am in the market right now, let me say, is I'm flat in the market right now, which means there's no positions, right? I'm not in any positions. Because at this point I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for AU to break these highs, and I'll re-enter at a better level here, or it's either going to be like it starts to really drip and drop and break these lows, and you start to sell because maybe the dollar gets incredibly bullish and we capitalize on that. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Because the dollar has the capability to do either or, as you guys see, it's getting really bullish. I personally think that it's going to get bullish. And I don't even want to play with it. Okay, I don't even want to play with it. So that is why I'm out this position. I'm flat, right? And I'm just going to sit here and wait for the market to do what I want it to do. Because as you see, it's just consolidating. And I'm just going to really just wait for the 11 o'clock. And that will kind of push the dollar wherever it wants to go, whether that's going to continue up or continue down. For me, I think because it just broke this previous level here, I think it's going to continue to go up. That's what I'm thinking here. If it was bearish, I think it should have held, and it wouldn't be breaking this level, consolidating this level, and breaking up. I don't think so. I don't think so. So my intuition, as a trader, and you'll kind of have it too as well, always kicks in and really guides me a lot. And I'm not going to say like, it's just really from seeing charts for so long that you kind of just have a good feeling for what the market's going to do. I know it sounds very weird, right? But you have an intuition as a trader slightly, to go with your gut when you see things forming or you see things playing out. And what I'll say 9 times out of 10 is to really go with your gut when you feel certain things aren't doing it the way you want to. Trust in your instincts, guys. If you see something that you don't like or see a setup that isn't making sense, but you're in the setup, you have to have the discernment to learn to like, okay, let me breathe, relax, get out this trade, and then let me reassess and get back in. Because the market isn't always going to be perfect every day for you. It's not always like usually by now, I should be in a good 20, 30, 40 pips profit. If I'm in a trade for 2 hours, because we kind of got an AU at around 8 o'clock ish, right? As soon as the market kind of started, which was like 8 o'clock ish, which is like right here, we got in this trade, right? So it was a buy, right? 8 o'clock, 8:05, we were like in this trade and went in profit, pulled back down, and like, after 2 hours, listen, I'm usually in profit, TP smashed, I'm done. Like there should not be, I should be in drawdown after 2 hours, 2.5 hours in my trade. that's usually a recipe of, hey, this trade was not a good entry, or they're holding the market right now um, for whatever reason. So for me personally, I don't like to hold trades long like that, like 2, 3, 4 hours, and I'm not in profit. Now, granted, it's like at break even, which is fine, but I don't like the way that the trade is playing out in general. So that's why, for me personally, when things aren't setting up the way I want to, right, I'll sit here and be like, okay, let me, and this is just a good habit to have, guys. And, this is why I'm teaching you, is because like it's really the habits as a trader that's really going to keep you in the game long term. And that's something that most people aren't going to really teach you. Like they're not going to teach you like the habits that you need to have as a trader, because there's so many different things to trading. But what are your habits? If you can tell me your habits as a trader, I'll tell you if you're successful or not. What are your habits? What are your rules that you follow? So for me, if the trade setup is not in profit in 2 hours, 2.5 hours, usually roughly around that time, I'm not really going to stick in my trade. I'm usually going to reset and get out the trade, because there's got to be something else going on. Usually, 9 times out of 10, if I'm not in profit, like in good profit, in 30 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and a half, 90 minutes, 2 hours, then I definitely messed up somewhere. For me personally, as an intraday trader, I shouldn't sit there and be in trades 2, 3 hours and I'm not profit. There's just no way. So, this is just one of those cases where it's 8 o'clock, it's about to be 10 o'clock now, it's 2 hours. The trade is like slightly back in profit, but this is like ridiculous. It's taking so long to play out. And it's a Friday. It's a Friday. Why, everything is moving super slow on a Friday. Okay, I get it. I get it, kind sir. But, it's because of the freaking news at 11 o'clock. So we are now sitting here waiting. Are we gonna sit here and wait now for freaking a whole nother hour? Well, not me. I'm not gonna be on the session for another hour, y'all. I'm sorry. I would love to, but no. Okay. But personally, it looks like the dollar still wants to kind of drip from here. It does look like it wants to drop. So the dollar is just, my goodness, man, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. Okay. So for me personally, what I would do to move forward, because it is about to be 10 o'clock, what I would do is, there's a couple things you can do, and I'm just going to tell you guys what I did, because everyone here has control of their own trade setups and how they manage, and whatever, however you want to do it. But for me, I just go flat on the market if it doesn't do what I want it to do, right? So if after 30 minutes, 1 hour, I'm in my setup and it's not moving the way I want it to move, then I usually will, depending on if I'm in drawdown, how clear the setup is, I'm just gonna get out, right? So I'm gonna remain flat in the market. So that's like and this is an example of, okay, AUD USD is pulled back to this level, and I was just consolidating and playing around. So to me, I'm gonna remain flat on this market. I'm just gonna get out and reassess and look for a better entry, because I do not want to be stuck in this. I don't want to be stuck in this type of stuff, in consolidation. I don't want to be stuck in that. Even if the market goes up afterwards, I don't want to have to go through this brutal, slow drip, 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 and then pop up. No, I don't want to go through that. And some people might say, "Well, Ryan, just hold the consolidation." And for me personally, I would, if this is the case, let's just say hypothetically, AUDs consolidate slowly, drip, 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 drip. Then 11 o'clock happens and it just pops up like this, right? then to me, why not just have a buy stop here at the same level here and just catch it as it pops up from here to here? What's the difference? The difference is you don't have to go through brutal, unnecessary drawdown, right? And you're biting your fingernails and starving yourself and then going through extra stress and anxiety trading. That's a very big deal for me. I don't like trading under stressful environments. I don't like being stressed out on my trading. And what's stressful for me is holding a trade for 2, 3, 4 hours in consolidation, hoping that it goes up. That's stressful. That's okay. That's stressful. And that's something I don't like to do. So if the market isn't doing what I like for it to do, holding the market structure the way I want it to, then I will just get out and reposition myself. All right. So I still do think it's valid. But what I will say, guys, is with this trade with AU, okay, I do think it's still valid, but the problem is that it's just consolidating, and I don't want to sit around and stick in this consolidation. I would much rather, okay, we wait for the momentum to kick in, and then we catch this for, you know, maybe 15 to 20, 30 pips here. All right, I would much rather that. So this isn't, as you can see, it's not like a super bad trade setup. It's not horrible. But here's what I want you guys to remember. It is Friday. It is the last trading day of the week. All right. And the momentum and volatility of the market is going to dry up or after like 11:30, 11:45, 12 o'clock. The market is going to dry up. Okay. Meaning that there isn't going to be a lot of movement after that time. So it's already 10 o'clock now, and we're sitting here playing around with the market. I don't like it. So I'm a little annoyed, because it's 10 o'clock on a Friday. I'm not about to play with the market now. It's like, yo, market, come on, yo. Why are you doing this to me on a Friday? It's just being very slow. That's all. Very, very slow. So there's really not much we can do at this point. Because it is just a very, very slow day. Even NAS is just whipsawing, right? NAS is just whipsawing. Yesterday was mad good though. You see, Thursday was just such a smooth, nice day. I even traded yesterday, guys. I know y'all were trading with Max yesterday, and it was a super nice, clean day yesterday. My goodness, I'm kind of tight that I did not catch any of those moves, man. Yesterday. It looked like it was super clean. And then I get stuck trading Friday and it is super trash. Trash, trash, trash. Can't even. Jesus, 2 hours just to break even on my AU trade. This is pitiful. Oh my gosh. This is brutal. Brutal. I hate it. So yeah, guys. That's pretty much it. All right. I will actually drop I actually still have to drop the poll. I actually have to drop a couple polls in the chat, guys, in the Telegram chat. So please look out for that in the Telegram chat. I'm gonna post that. All right. Because there's a couple of things this weekend. So please, and I will pin it. So you should see the alert in the Telegram chat because I will be posting different polls. in the next hour. So you guys can get updated on everything for this weekend. There's a lot of different announcements in these next couple days. All right. But the dollar to me looks like it's just, as you can see, consolidating, playing around. And it could easily, I think, even drop for 11 o'clock or go up for 11 o'clock. I really don't know at this point. So I'm not going to gamble and just like take a wild guess as to what can happen. Instead, I'm just going to wait for it to happen and then react. So that's why I'm just flat in the market at this point. And, for me, I would put like a buy stop up here, somewhere up here for AUD USD, and just wait for it. If it does pop up really nice for that 11 o'clock news, then you can catch it. And if it doesn't pop up, then hey, you don't catch it. So you don't lose, basically, is what I'm saying. Right? If it happens and it pops up, okay, cool, you make some money. If it doesn't pop up, then okay, cool, you don't lose any money. And that's the most important thing when it comes to trading, is trying not to lose a lot of money. It's okay to lose, but try to make your losses pretty small. Okay? That's the key. If you can make your losses pretty small, because you're gonna have losses, but if you can make them pretty small relative to your account, and you can stay in the game to where long enough so you can just catch the good moves, that's how you're gonna extract the profit from the market consistently. You just have to be able to stay in the game long enough. Sometimes you have to go through a day or two of consolidation or the trade's not working out. And then what happens is usually maybe the next 2, 3 days you get killer great moves. Right. So like yesterday was super, super good in the market. Everything was moving, everything was trending. It was easy moves. And then the next day it's like, consolidation. All right, okay, maybe not so clean. And then the next day, boom, crazy good moves. But if every time you're in the market and it's not super trendy or super smooth, and you get knocked out, meaning you are taking too many big losses on those days that the market are moving good, then when the market does move good, guess what? You can't capitalize, right? And you can't make all the profit and then some more if you are going too hard every single trade session and you're getting caught up in the consolidation sessions or the sessions that aren't as good or a little bit more tricky than usual. So just something to know, guys, before I leave and drop you guys off to school. Got to drop the kids off. All right. Just want to drop that for you. Hopefully, the session just helps you to just navigate better, to understand how to manage your trade better. Just some tips and tricks is what I do when I'm actively managing my trade. Um, just giving you guys tips along the way of what I'm looking at, how I'm looking at the market. That's it. Hopefully you learned some stuff valuable. Right now I'm just flat in the market. I would have me personally, I have a buy stop kind of above this level here on AU. So, in my opinion, it's like, hey, if this thing pops up for news, I'll catch it. Um, could you do a buy sell, or I'm sorry, a sell stop? You could, as well too, but I'm not really gonna bank on that. So that's kind of just how I'm handling this trade right now at this point. And I just rather be safe than sorry. And see here, cause yeah, the dollar does look like it wants to go up. And let me see, gold. Looks like it wants to go down. NAS, let me see, NAS looks like, okay, now NAS is kind of breaking. NAS is kind of breaking here. This is a little tricky because this could be a fake out. This could be a fake out for NAS and then the buy. So what I would say, guys, okay, is for NAS, this is how I would look at NAS, okay? Because this could happen with NAS as well too. And if this happens, this is for sure a confirmed buy setup, okay? If NAS, okay, I'm not going to draw that. If NAS basically drops here and then pops up like this, all right, then NAS will definitely be a clear buy at this point. Okay, it will be a super clean buy. All right, because what would happen basically, right, is it held this range, it broke out this range, and then now is if it reverses and now breaks the top half of this range, it is now going to get bullish. So that could be, I don't know, 11 o'clock ish too. I don't know. But with all these trade setups, I'm not ecstatic because it is Friday. And the longer you wait for trade setups to happen on a Friday, the worse it is. Which is why, like, on Fridays, I try to get in markets early between 8 to 9 o'clock. I try to get my entries because at 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock, that's way, way too late for entries usually on a Friday. Okay, those are way, 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 way too late of an entry. Okay. So the dollar to me is holding bullish. Could it reverse for 11 o'clock? It could. Who knows? AU, I'm flat in. NU, I would be flat on. So every single position I would be flat on. AU, NU. I wouldn't hold these positions for news, guys. I would wait for news. With NAS, I think it's overall bullish still, but it is breaking this structure. So this is, this is very tricky. But I would wait for it to pop up like 40, 50 points, and then I would buy it. And I'm saying if it does that, it's definitely a buy. If it does that, then it is definitely, definitely, definitely a buy if it does that. Now, if NAS decides to continue to sell, then fine. That's perfectly fine too. That's perfectly fine too. But I'm just saying, if NAS does that, so it pops down, then shoots back up into the consolidation, starts to get bullish, then it's definitely going to be a buy. So that's just something to look out for. And yeah, that's it, guys. All right, so Friday was pretty slow. Nothing too crazy, honestly, with any of these moves here. Nothing really too crazy. All right. And we'll just wait until 11 o'clock to see what happens, because I think that's when the markets are going to move, obviously. But I'm not in any positions at this point. I just have a buy sell, or I'm sorry, a buy stop. I keep saying a buy sell. I have a buy stop on AU at my structure level up here, kind of the blue line. And that's it, So I just have that set up, and that's all I'm really gonna do, If the market gives me what I want, then I'll just take my pips and be done. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So that's kind of just how I'm maneuvering for the rest of the day, guys. That's really it. Okay. And after news at 11, I'll kind of have an update. I will kind of post in the Telegram around 11 o'clock to show you guys what I'm looking at. All right. And yeah, so I will check you guys out in the chat. All right. I will see you guys later. Okay. See you. Okay, cool. All right. Check you guys out. Yeah, Willie, even though the markets are trash, hopefully you guys still learned. That's the whole thing. Because the markets aren't always going to be perfect, man. They're not always going to be perfect. And hopefully like you're just learning. You're learning as, the markets are bad, and when the markets aren't super clean, it's really gives me the ability to just teach you guys some different things. Right, how to manage your trade, how to know if it's good or not, when to get out, how to adjust your stop losses, your management style. Like these are all things you kind of have to learn in real time. You can't really sit here and learn that, from a video. It's hard. It's hard for a video to kind of teach you, real life in real time management, how to look at trades, what you're looking for. Anyone can just give you a signal, but the management of your trade is going to be very critical. And so I try to teach that as well, as I'm just showing you guys what I do. And that's all I'm really doing is just showing you guys how I look at the market, and you can take what you want from it. But yeah, that's it, guys. Okay, so I will holler at you guys later. Hopefully you guys learned. I appreciate you guys spending your Friday morning with me. Hopefully you learned some stuff, and I will catch you guys next time. See you. Peace.